What if I told you that a pot of jollof can help you identify stocks that can make you good money? Sounds crazy, right? Every time the price of rice, chicken, tomato, onion rises, is telling an investor something. And today, when my sister cooks a pot of jollof, I'm going to show you how these ingredients and what they tell you exactly about the Nigerian stock market using the Jollof Index.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be making a delicious homemade jollof rice, and today my sister will be talking about finance. She wants to tell you guys about finance, so you're welcome. So let's get started.
Whether you're here for the jollof or here for the money, we got you covered. So while she's cooking, I'm going to show you how investors can use the price of these ingredients to understand what is happening in the economy and potentially identify investment opportunities. Before we introduce the ingredients of our jollof, let me quickly tell you about the Jollof Index. Have you heard of it before? So it's a food price index created by SBM Intelligence, I think in 2016. So in this basket, it includes things like onion, rice, tomatoes, spices, and some other ingredients. So this index tracks how much everyday Nigeria spends on a pot of jollof. You know, when we hear of inflation, many of us assume it's just something that happens in economics textbook. My dear, it's now happening inside a pot of your jollof. And let me shock you, in 2016, when this index started, a pot of jollof cost about 4,300. But today, in 2026, I think the last report they released, a pot of jollof, guess how much? 29,578 naira. That is over 600% increments. So now this jollof index, it may not necessarily tell you which stock may go up or come down tomorrow, but it's a way for you to understand inflation, consumer behavior, supply chains, and changing business costs. Now, investors using this signal, they can now go and investigate sectors that may benefit or suffer. Now, if you're a long-time investor, right, and you're looking for stock you can buy and hold and make good money in the long term, you're going to get a lot of pointers here. And later in this video, we are going to be looking at specific Nigerian stocks and how they make or lose money from this food index. And then there is another part of this that is completely outside stocks. Some of you that will think it's only for stock investing. No, there is another side to this. This one is going to point you to great investment and business opportunities. We're going to be unpacking all of them in this video. I will let the chef now show you the ingredients she's going to use in making this yummy jollof. And then after that, on those same ingredients, we are going to talk money. We need to understand if the prices of these ingredients suddenly goes up, who is going to make money? Who is going to lose money? Which companies do we want investors to start observing?
And here are the ingredients I'll be using for the jollof rice recipe. So here I got my rice, and I got my tatashi, got my fresh pepper, ginger, and garlic. I also got my cooking butter. I got my sliced onion. Here I have my seasoning. I'll be using lasso seasoning. I'll be using spicy city and also my knorr seasoning. I got my chicken. I have my curry powder.
This chicken, how much is it?
It's
how much is it?
It's 5,000 naira a kilo.
Hey, chicken we used to buy, how much was it that time safe?
That is it. So
How
then
much do we used to buy it back in the day?
I think back in the days 3,000 a kilo. Then I have my bay leaf. I also have this rosemary leaves. Then I got my Sonia tomato paste. I'll be using a King's vegetable oil. And that's all for our recipe. So guys, if this is your first time here on my channel, you are highly welcome. And remember to like this video. So let's get started.
Now, before we go over to the board to really look at this jollof index and how investors think about it, I want to introduce you to this 5 framework. These are questions you have to ask whenever something is happening in the economy, whether good or bad. Question number 1. Oh, please, before we continue, have you liked this video? Can you hit that like button? But most importantly, what I really want you to do, can you go to Cook with Chioma? That's my sister I'm collaborating with. Can you give her a follow? Want to get her to 2,000 followers?
So yes, guys, please subscribe to my channel. Like, I do cooking, homemade food recipes you can actually recreate in your house. Yes, thank you. Please subscribe.
Okay, thank you so much. Please, let's take her to 2,000 subscribers. Now, over to our framework. Oh, and this particular jollof, I know your eyes is there. She's still going to post another detailed video on how you can achieve the Nigeria smoky jollof. Okay, framework on the number 1 question you should ask is why? So let's say there is a price increase. You want to understand why did the price go up? What happened? Assuming now they say that, oh, the price of tomato has gone up, right? We want to check, is it that the rain did not fall this year? Or is it that unknown gunmen, God help us, went to the farm and ransacked? Like, we want to ask some certain question. Is it poor transportation network for them to move the product from the farm to the market, right? We need to know that, because if we understand why, that leads us to the next questions. Question number two, who pays? Now, this price increment you are talking about, who is going to bear the cost? Is it the company, or are they able to shift it to the consumers? Because what this does now is, for example, let's say price of food is up, right? Food is inelastic. We have to keep buying. In that case, some companies are able to push the cost to us. That means those companies, their revenue will keep going up. They are not affected. But if it is inelastic product that once the price goes up, we gotta look for alternative, or people will just do without it. That means the companies might suffer. Question number three in this framework, who is benefiting? Is it the farmers? Is it the distributors? Is it the importers? Or is it even the processors? So we want to know in that supply chain, which people are going to benefit, because trust me, it's not everybody. And that leads us to question number four, who is losing? Because so far somebody is enjoying, somebody is at the receiving end of it. There are companies that their revenue or their profit margin is being squeezed, right? What are these companies? And finally, question number five, who has the pricing power? Like I mentioned before, when prices go up, it's not all the companies that has the ability to push the cost to the consumers. Some companies have to suffer it, and it is going to like reduce their margin. See, if you are able to learn and understand how to ask these questions when things happen in the economy, it is even more valuable than me just coming to tell you, oh, go and buy this stock or buy that stock. Of course, in this video, we are still going to look into this as some specific stock and how the Jollof Index affect them, which can also help you in guiding your investment decisions. Come and show us our rice. Let's even see our rice while we are talking of the Jollof Index. Woo! It is giving Jollof Index indeed. Smoking jollof. Okay, madam, abeg shift. Let's talk money. Now let's look at a breakdown of some of these components of the Jollof Index and questions that we need to start asking as an investor, because this is what could point you towards the direction of your next investment opportunity. Now let's start with rice. We're talking about Jollof Index. Rice has to come first, right? When something is happening, now they say that, oh, Jollof Index, the price has moved to 4,000 something in 2060. Now in 2026, the price is now at 29, almost 30,000 naira, right? What I'm asking, yes, we all know that price has gone up, but I'm looking at things like in relation to rice. Oh, what is the local production like, right? Are we importing majority of our rice, or is it locally produced? You know, import. With import, we're also looking at FS, because foreign exchange, dollar has a play in all of this. And then it leads to the investment question. Who is producing rice? Are there companies? Which company? Okay, Boa. I know that Boa Food produces rice. Now that can even lead me. Let me go and check the financial statements of Boa Food. Do you see? So that answers the way who is producing rice, just from the hearing that the price of rice or Jollof Index has gone up. The second one is tomatoes. Nice. When I hear things that, oh, there's tomato is scarce and all that, later I'm going to give you a practical illustration. This happened in 2023. Now I want to understand, is it weather, right? Is it weather that is causing it, or is it that the farming, because they keep saying that we're having less and less farmers. And then again, it could be storage, because sometimes the harvest is large, but the storage is the problem. If we are not able to store them or process them well, they will spoil, which also points to logistics. I feel like one of the problems we have in this country is logistics. Terrible road, right? Because in the farm, let's say the road is good, the distance or the time it will take them to move this truck from the north to some of us here in the south, it won't be that much. But because of terrible roads, these people spend days on the road. By the time they get to Lagos, everything has spoiled. What is not there to sell? Now again, what question am I asking? Who benefits from local food production? Fresh tomatoes is produced locally, right? So when there is a movement in tomato, for example, I want to understand, who is going to benefit from this? Is there a listed company that uses fresh tomato as an input or something like that, right? Yeah. Then again, vegetable oil. We are talking of Okomo, Presco, and Co. Those stocks, right? I'm looking at things like commodities. Palm oil is a commodity. It is an internationally traded stock, right? Which also means I'm also interested in FS. These days, one of my mentors sent me something. Indian palm oil. She was like, due to, is it lack of innovativeness in Nigeria, we are now importing this oil from India. And palm oil is something Nigeria is blessed with. Have we, even me, every time I'm talking of palm oil, let's invest in palm oil. Have we actually thought of, okay, how can I process this and make it ready for export? And no, that's by the way. So I'm asking myself, when there is movement in oil, who processes edible oil? Okay, is it Presco, Okomo? They do red oil. Do they do also, vegetable oil? How does this impact their results? Now we are looking at chicken. Hey, my sister was saying that the one she was using for this our jollof, she got 2 kilos at 10,000 or 10,000 something. And I remember there was a time a kilo of chicken is like 3,000. How as far as you can remember, what was the price of chicken? Let me know in the comment section. Now she said it's like 5 something. Sometimes it goes as high as 6,000 something. Anyway, when it comes to chicken, yes, they say the price of chicken has gone up, but I'm looking at the poultry, the feed. This feed is the issue. I have people that run poultry business and they keep complaining about this feed because that is like the major input, what the chicken eats. As far as the price is going up, trust me, we have to pay for it. Down to eggs. So I'm thinking, what's happening to the feed cost? Because that is basically, like I said, what is driving the cost of chicken. And finally on the list, we have seasoning. That's when I start thinking about FMCGs. What are those companies? I know Nestle. Nestle has, Maggi, spices. Both would also have spices, right? And the question is, who has the pricing power? Remember what we said earlier, when the price of this thing move, not all the companies can shift the cost. Some of them is going to affect them negatively, but the ones that has the power to shift it to consumers, hey, they are the ones that are eyeing their stock. We are going to look at some of those companies shortly. Now let's look at some specific companies and use them for example, the likes of Boa Foods, Nestle and all that. But before then, I want to really emphasize something I've said before, particularly regarding inflation. When inflation rises, I don't want you to now start thinking of, okay, what is getting expensive, so you can go and buy their stock. No, I want you to ask the question, which companies can comfortably pass that cost to their customers without losing customers? And these companies are usually companies that have strong brands, they have essential products, they have limited competitors, or they are the market leaders. Companies that have loyal customers and even source locally. So some of these companies are able to withstand inflation. Not really withstand inflation, but at least they can push the cost to some of us. Those are the companies I want to be looking at their financial statements. Now let's look at some companies that in the past we have used this Jollof Index to track. Number one on my list is NASCON. They're mostly into salt, spices and all. Who remembered early 2023? There was a time tomato was very scarce. Nigerians then, you are now looking for different alternatives. That's when I learned that people can blend carrots. People were blending carrots to cook and things like that because tomato was scarce. What we see happen that in the search for alternative, there is this spice that, the different spices that NASCON have. They even have one that can serve as, tomato or something like that. Yeah, this thing went up because people started buying more of those things. Now, if I am an investor and I'm observing that, okay, this is where the people are moving to now, or tomato alternative, I want to go and check which companies are producing it. Is it reflecting in their revenue? Because the more people buy these things, the more revenue companies make, the more money for us investors. Another company I'm always keeping my eyes on, you see Boa Food. I love Boa Food because number one, a lot of their products are inelastic. They have, I know they have rice, spaghetti, pasta, all of those things, right? And these are inelastic demand in the sense that no matter how high the price goes, regardless of regardless of the price, the supply the demand is still there. In fact, sometimes the demand can even be higher than the supply. So companies like that with inelastic products, I find them interesting and I always track them. If we come down to things like palm oil, Okomo, Presco, oh my God, this is one of the companies that have made me the most money. I think I bought my Presco around 500 and something. And right now, is it like 2,000 or thereabout? Go and check the price of these things. Because these companies, see, in the short run, this might happen. They could take a hit. But if you're a long-term investors, right, some of these companies, you will see that in the long run, regardless of what happened right now, they are able to withstand and bounce back. If there is one thing you are getting from this video so far, is that this Jollof Index, right, it's not necessarily telling you, okay, go and buy this stock. No, but it gives you a pointer into some companies you can begin to explore and investigate and be research. Let me say it again and be clear. Not tomorrow, tomato is up. You will say, okay, because the price of tomato is up, let me go and look for a company that is doing tomato and invest. Don't invest like that. What you should be doing instead, take that as a signal into what is happening in the broader economy, then go and investigate what is happening. Remember the framework we did? Let's say there is a price change. You want to ask what cost is, who is benefiting, who is affected, maybe negatively, which businesses are exposed. Now, all of these companies, find the ones that you feel are benefiting, then research the company. And that is where when you can now begin to consider your option. This is the difference between you actually investing as a proper investor than running to go and buy a stock just because somebody told you that the stock is going to go high. Don't do like that. Anyway, if you remember last year when we did our workshop, right, we listed some companies and some of them have this, we did Boa Food, we mentioned Presco, Okomo. What did you think drove that recommendation? It is looking at things like this Jollof Index and go and check every single stock we mentioned and asked you to check out in that our last year workshop. All of them are in good money right now. If you miss that workshop, the next one is coming up this August 28th. Make sure you register. The link to register will be on there. I'm going to pin it in the comments to join that workshop. What we do there is ask the question, where is the money going right now? And then we look at some sectors and some specific stocks we can go and explore. Let's continue. Now, let's look at, like call it the part 2 of this video. Now, we are not talking about stock investments because there is a completely different way to look at things when prices are going up. So imagine you're an investor or somebody that is looking to start a business, looking to go into a new line to like meet a demand. And when prices go up, you start asking questions like, so what if the rising price is going to make agriculture or farming more attractive? What if companies start investing more in food processing, not even the farming parts? Or what if one starts a business for better storage, a business that stores some of these food products and prevent them from going bad? Or what if I decide to like go into the logistics part of it to improve logistics on the delivery of these food products? Because when you start looking at problems with the mind of coming up with solution, something that all of us are crying over can become an opportunity, can become a business or investment opportunity. And trust me, this is one of the biggest things I really want people to understand when it comes to investing, because the economy is always giving us opportunities. Now, our job as investors or business owners is to go and figure out who are the winners and who are the losers, and how do we position ourselves in that supply chain. So if you're looking to start a business, if you're looking to start a factory, I ask some of my clients in diaspora, they're like, oh, I want to start something in Nigeria, but I don't know what it is. Problems in the economy, inflation, be it food inflation or something, can be a way to spotlight opportunities.
So guys, after all this investment talk, our jollof rice is ready and the full recipe will be on my channel. Remember to like, subscribe and share, okay? So bye for now.
Wait. By the way, we are not done. Shift first. So I just hope that from all of this you have learned something. You don't have to be a financial analyst to invest or make the right investment decision. You can start from asking simple questions. Oh, why is my tomato going up? Why is palm oil expensive? Those kind of questions help you to understand the economy. And the thing is that once you begin to understand and look at the economy this way, your eyes will open to investment opportunities and to know where the money is going to. Just like we're going to be discussing in our upcoming workshops, answer the question, where is the money going to currently? That is what we will discuss. I think it's on August 28th. Make sure you join. The link will be on the description. And please subscribe to my sister's channel, Cook with Chioma. Let me know if you have any questions, or is there a collab you want us to do again. Thank you for watching. Okay, time to eat. So I would have said come and eat, but Bella.